So, someone asked the question about a problem that many people are facing that are trying to get to awakening, to a state of awakening. And I'm just describing very short what the guy was asking. Basically, he said that when he's meditating, he's not able to see that the thought is like a cloud that is appearing in his consciousness, and therefore he's not identified with it right away. In his experience, it's different. It's when the thought appears, the attention goes to this thought in the exact moment as it appears, and it feels like he's too entangled in this thought. Then he tried to find out if there are other people who are having the same issue, and he found many. Then he was asking me if I had the same problem, and I can tell you, yes, I had the same problem. When I was listening to gurus, especially I was listening to a lot of Muji, and people were asking Muji how to see the thoughts as just an appearance that is no problem. It's just like a cloud, and you don't have to identify with it. To those people, and to me, who was listening to this video, was absolutely unclear how this works, how to be relaxed and see the thought just as an appearance that doesn't really matter. Just as if you're realizing that you're actually just watching TV and it's not a real thing that is happening. So you understand on an intellectual level that your thoughts are not real, and you understand with your intellect that you have to watch your thoughts, and you feel like this is something you need to do. That was my problem, and I didn't understand this for a long time. So I was listening to the advice, just be and wait for the thought. And then I interpreted this advice as something that I need to do. So I sat down excited because I thought that I knew how to do it now. And by the way, I'm sorry if the dishwasher is too loud. And I hope you can understand me well. But as I was sitting down, I was trying to do it. So this is like a trick of the mind. The mind, which consists of an identity which consists of thoughts. So the thought itself is trying to do the meditation, which is why it is absolutely impossible to see yourself as the consciousness, which is not affected by the thought that is appearing in them, because you still identify with the thought in the first place. And that thought, the I thought, is trying to do the meditation. So one thought is trying to detach from another thought. And even if that works, it doesn't feel right because you're still identified with this thought that in the first place was trying to detach from a thought. You're still a thought. So I think it is important for you to understand what it means to simply be. First off, it's important to understand what it means to simply stay as what you already are. Now, I had another comment of a person who was asking how to actually be. This person said that it would be impossible for her even to stay present, even if the location of the present moment was written on a neon, what is it called? I forgot the word. In Las Vegas they got this big neon texts, and even if this text would describe where the beingness is, she wouldn't get it. And then she was asking me how to stay in this presence. And I told her, just imagine that you've already done everything that is to do in this universe. You have already understood everything that you can understand in this universe. And then what is left to do? You can simply be. You don't have to worry about understanding. You don't have to worry about doing. So, as you can see, or I hope you can understand, that remaining as what you are is easy. It is too easy, because it's not something you can do. It's not something you can grasp. And it's a blessing that it is not something you can grasp. It is not something you have to grasp. You can simply relax, stay as what you are. And it doesn't matter in what condition your body or mind is in, simply be. Now, as you simply are, you can see how the video was playing by itself. Now, as you pause the video, you can try it. Just wait. What happens? Now, what should happen is that a thought appears, or maybe a whole dialogue. Now, at first it can happen that you fall asleep. That's why it's called the awakening. Falling asleep means thinking happens and it feels natural. You're identified with it. You're caught up in the story. All of a sudden, and it could take a while to wake up, but all of a sudden, at some point you wake up to the fact that, wait a minute, I'm thinking. I'm so caught up in the story. And even when you're thinking, you're almost have like this position, you're like, but at some point you will wake up and see, I'm thinking. I'm caught up in the story. And when you see that, there's a chance for you, and it's actually easy. As soon as you see that you're thinking, just take the opportunity to just detach from it. You've just realized that you were watching a movie and it's not real. So, that's what's called awakening. You're awake to the fact that the thought is not a real thing. The story that you were invested in is not actually happening. It's just happening in your imagination. So, and then you're awake. You're in pure beingness again, pure awareness again. Now, the ego comes back and says, but I want to hold this for as long as possible. Stay in this beingness, stay in this awareness. I don't want to fall back into sleep. But it will happen, so don't worry about that. At first you will fall back into sleep, you will continue to think, and you will feel as if you are the thinker. It will feel like you are the one that's thinking. But again, you will wake up and see that the story you're invested in is not actually real. You don't have to believe in it, it's not that big of a deal. So you wake up again. If you do this, if waking up is something that happens throughout your day, from day to day, you simply check, am I present? Am I caught up in thoughts? Or am I actually present? Am I aware that what thoughts are saying has nothing to do with reality? So you're present again, and at some point it will feel normal and natural. And then you will understand what I mean, or what I meant when I say that actually the awareness was always free and thoughts just appear like clouds. They already do. But in the beginning there's like a strong impulse to just follow whatever they're saying, because most people were conditioned to simply believe whatever the thought says, because we were so identified with whatever the thought says. but our thoughts are not really, they don't have the ability to describe what we are. They can only create some kind of noises in our minds, and then we interpret meaning into those noises that are happening in our minds, just like my voice. Now, as you can hear, what I'm saying makes absolutely no sense in reality. It is your interpretation, your conditioning that is interpreting meaning into those sounds, and now you think that I'm actually saying something. Now, you cannot just go through your life and say nobody's ever saying something, it's just a bunch of noises, even though that's true. Understand that the thoughts are just that, noises, and they're not holding any importance. Especially when you're trying to wake up from this illusion of I am a thinker, wake up from it. Realize that whenever you're thinking, even though it takes some time at first to wake up, at some point you will see, oh, I'm thinking again, it's not real, it's just a movie, it's just an illusion. So you're back in your beingness. And then the ego will come back and say, but it feels uncomfortable to just be, I'm wasting my time. And what you have to understand is, when you're caught up in thinking, when you're thinking all the time, thinking is like an addiction. The body is already stressed out, and then the impulse is to find some kind of relief, some kind of just something you can lose yourself in, because it's uncomfortable to simply be. A lot of people have a lot of stress hormones, so simply being is uncomfortable as hell. But you have to practice staying in the beingness, so your body can actually calm down, so your experience here on earth can become more peaceful and comfortable, and you will become a more chill person. But when it's actually uncomfortable to stay in the body, the mind, the body, they have the impulse to find something that you can lose yourself in, because it doesn't want to deal with the uncomfortable presence that is here. So it loses itself in thoughts. Or if that is not enough, it loses itself in cigarettes and a bunch of stimuli. Right. So, just wanted to say that, so that you are ready for what's coming. And simply do that. I think that's all I needed to learn to overcome this issue. And that's it. Yes. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and leave a comment, and have a great day.